What in the flump is going on, dudes? Gentlemen, gentlemen, lady dudes, welcome back to Just Nuts. That's my alarm. I apologize for that and the lack of professionalism, but it's not going to change anytime soon, so you know what you're getting. Moving on here, guys. So we had a new announcement for a set in the OCG, which is really cool, and I want to talk about it here because, well, one, we got some new cards revealed. Obviously, we don't know when we will ever get them in the TCG, but at least we know they're there, and we know we'll get them at some point. I still think that's hype to talk about. Right, but they get a new set, and it's essentially a VRAINS duelist set. So specifically, duelists from the anime are getting cards that we haven't had imported yet, put into this set, which is really cool. It's kind of like their version, I guess, of the legendary duelist, but it's more common. It's not more common, more up to date for the current characters in the anime. Whereas the legendary duels are for obviously legendary duels, the older duels from past Yu-Gi-Oh series. So we got one card revealed for I think all 5 of these characters here. I believe that's what it was. But yeah, let's jump into it. So we start with, I believe, our main character. I can't remember his name, which is kind of embarrassing. I guess it's not that embarrassing. I haven't watched the show at all. But anyway, we've got Code Exporter. Really cool design. I like this thing. It's like a big green eagle. It's a wind cyberse effect monster. 500 attack, 2300 defense with 2 effects. Both are hard ones per turns. First one says, if a cyberse monster you control would be used as link material for a Code Talker monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. Really cool. I love that they have a link too, by the way. It's a Code Talker. That way any 2 monsters on board and you can still use this as just like extra material. Then also, if this card is sent from the hand or field as graveyard, or to the graveyard as material for the link summon of a Code Talker monster, you can target 1 level 4 lower cyberse monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Or if this card on the field instead of in the hand was used as material, you can special summon that monster instead, but its effects are negated. Really nice. Just like we've seen some of these cards being used, but the higher the number of these, and really nice ones. This is a really nice recursion effect. You just get either a free extra material or you get one added back to your hand for possible follow-up play next turn if you don't really want them on the field, which is really nice. I really like this card a lot. I think the more of these we get, like the better the better the deck will be, just the Code Talker deck in general. So pretty cool there. Then we also have a Salome grade Link or XZ monster, another one after Mirage Stallia, pretty spicy. It's called Salome grade Blaze Dragon. It's a rank 4 fire, 2300 attack, 1200 defense. We've seen that the deck can make rank 4, so it's nothing too crazy. It's not super easy for their engine, but it is doable. I will say that it's not amazingly legal, but it also is completely generic, so keep that in mind. You could play generic level 4 cyber support and still be able to turbo this thing out. Its effects read, okay, sorry, the second effect is a hard monster turn, but the others are not. If this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you could attach 1 material from instead. So for the most part, you're going to be kind of immune to destruction, which is pretty nice. Through 2300 beats it, immune to destruction, nice. During the battle phase, if this card has no material, quick effect, you can special summon 1 Salome grade Xyz monster from your extra deck using this card you control as material. Transfer this card's materials to the summon monster. This is treated as an Xyz summon. So when you're looking at this, right, the only thing you could really do, that you could really use this for, is to either make a new one of itself on top of itself. You know how the deck loves to reincarnation link. Well, this is sort of a reincarnation Xyz. Or you can go into Mirage Stalio. That way, I guess you could attack with him because he's bigger than Mirage Stalio, and then in main phase 2, make a Mirage Stalio, special a monster from deck, extend a little bit, and then also like Mirage Stalio away, break the board a little more, bounce another monster, do stuff like that. So there is value in making Mirage Stalio, I believe. But also, his last effect says, if this card is Xyz summoned using itself as material, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls. So that's what you do, I guess. You make him, you pop a monster, and then you just attack again to kill another monster. You know what I mean? So either way, it's pretty. I don't think it's terrible. Listen, the extra X space is already tight for the deck, so I don't know how much this really does for the deck. I don't know if the deck really needs this, but it's a cool option. I don't think it's a bad card per se. I just don't know if it's good enough to really warrant playing immediately. Next up, we have Bayonet Punisher. Really cool design on this card. It's a Boral or a Rocket card right there. You can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. Its effect says apply these effects in sequence depending on the card types among the Boral monsters on your field and in your graveyard. Also, if you control a monster with 3,000 or more attack, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card's activation. Oh no, this card already sounds busted nuts. It is not searchable because it doesn't have anything in its name to make it searchable, I believe. Alright. So you gain these in succession depending if you have all of them. And if you control a 3,000 or more attack point Boral monster, any monster with 3,000 or more attack, your opponent just can't respond to this. Okay. If you control a fusion on your field or in your graveyard, it has to be a Boral fusion or a monster in the field or in the graveyard. You can banish one monster your opponent controls. That's non-targeting, non-destruction, just banish. Okay. If you also control a synchro on field or in graveyard, like Boral Savage, you banish 3 random cards that are face down in your opponent's extra deck. Wow, that's pretty powerful as well. This could just be used turn 1 just to try and shotgun banish some important stuff from their extra deck. If you have an XZ somewhere, like the Boral X Charge, the new guy that's coming out in Rising Rampage, you can banish 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls. And if you also have a Link Boral monster, you can banish up to 3 cards from your opponent's graveyard. Okay, I like once in a very, 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 very hidden, hard to see cloudy night, blue moon, would you ever be able to resolve all 4 of these effects? But even if you just resolve the first one, the fusion monster is already 3,000, right? So if you control him, this is already just a quick play spell that can't be responded to that just banishes 1 monster your opponent controls, which is already a pretty powerful disruption in and of itself. Again, it takes setup and it's not searchable, so I don't know if it's truly worth at the end of the day, but definitely something to keep an eye on because it is so inherently powerful, especially that it can't be responded to in most situations. Then we have a new Marine Cess monster. Holla at your girl. Very, very cute design, gotta say. Her name is Marine Cess Pascalis. She's a level 4 water cybers, to be expected. 1,200 attack, 2,000 defense, so a solid booty on her. And each of her effects are hard once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can special summon 1 Marine Cess monster from your hand in defense position, except for another copy of herself. That's nice. It helps get them out of the hand because they don't really spam the board from hand except for the 1. There's like the 1 Marine Cess card that can special summon from hand or grave. But I think you need to control 2 Marine Cess cards to do it, I think. Or 2 water cards to do it. But this is fine. I think this is a nice little extendability, especially if you open her with like Seahorse. Probably means your combos are going to be a little bit bananas that turn. But still, that's interesting. And then also, during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Marine Cess spell or trap card in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. A beautiful recursion effect. I love that. It just gets you a free Marine Cess wave that you've used back to your hand to stun again for a turn. Really, really nice. We need more spells. I will say that if this is a support set and we're going to get more for each of these archetypes, I would love to get more spells for them because their new Link 1 searches any spell, any Marine Cess spell straight from the deck. So we need more nice spells other than just the 1 field spell that's like mediocre. We also have a Dino Wrestler card, Dino Wrestler Iguanodraca? I don't know. A level 6 Earth Dinosaur, 2,000 attack, 0 defense. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. You can discard another dinosaur monster to special summon this card from the hand. Okay. And then you can tribute 1 dinosaur monster, then target a Dino Wrestler monster in your graveyard with a different original name and special summon it. So you can't tribute himself to get whatever you discarded. I guess opening him is, technically a way to just get the monster you open him with on the field without using your normal summon, but it's still just like a -1. And I don't know how many of them do actually like good stuff in grave. I don't know. It just seems kind of. He's okay. I mean, honestly, I think he's better than most Dino Wrestler cards, but most Dino Wrestler cards are like terrible. So, whatever. A buff in some way, shape, or form. And then we have Altergeist here. So the last card is Altergeist Failover. It's a continuous trap card. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. If another card or cards you control is destroyed by an opponent's effect, you can special summon an Altergeist monster from your hand. If it was deck, I'd be interested. Not. And then also you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Altergeist monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. That's not bad, but at the same time, like, this is continuous. You don't activate it and then it goes to grave. So this, you need to somehow get this into your own grave, so you can just add an Altergeist monster from grave back to your hand. Super mediocre. I don't think this card's very good, but I feel like the winners here, I guess Pascalis, I think, is a pretty decent monster. I think this card has potential for sure. I think this card is solid. I'm not sure if it's good enough to really be played in Salamangreats, but I think it's a decent card. And then this card I think is good as well for the Code Talkers. But guys, let me know what you think. This is just the first 5 cards, and if we're just gonna get a whole like set with like, you know, kind of like Legendary Duels, 5 or 6 new cards for each of them. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on these and definitely show you whenever we find out some of those new stuffs. Again, we don't know when we're going to get this released, but just keep an eye on it. I just want to get it out there that these cards are floating around somewhere, and we will get them at some point. So just get excited, get pumped, and subscribe to the channel, I guess. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.